Peace, peace, happy now. Love. Think fast. Defending your energy against somebody's negativity is like performing an exorcism. Basically, you come across somebody, like say for instance, where you know that you can manifest any and all things, but you come across somebody that's like, oh man, I don't think I could manifest this or this and that. What's happening is that low vibrational parasite, demon, entity, however you want to, you know, uh, multiple names or description, but just that low vibrational, you could say parasite, negativity is looking for, some more food. So literally, like when you coming across somebody and they, and again, it's not their fault. Not looking at that person is trying to be negative, but more so again, they, when that parasite becomes strong, then it's almost like how they make horror movies where the ghost controlling the person. You know what I'm saying? Where they done got taken over, or like Insidious, where that like that parasite then had so much influence to where it influence just takes over. But literally, like stand your ground in those moments and be like, whether you gotta say it in your head or say it out loud. Sometimes sometimes some people you don't want to start a back and forth. You just see that they just so deep into their negativity, so they be like, oh man, AIDS and cancer killing everybody, this and that. It's like, if I don't say out loud, like, oh no, man, that's fake. Dr. Sebi cured that. Like, if I don't say it, I just be like, not my universe. Like, I keep it to I just say to myself, not my universe. Maybe for you, but that doesn't exist in this universe, in this realm. Because what's happening is that little deity and entity, not deity, that entity is trying to open you up. So the moment, so say for instance, that person like, oh yeah, cancer and this and that, and even though you know better, you still like, oh yeah, cancer does get people down and this and that. You're now lowering your vibration to a place of where that demon, that entity could hop onto your chakras and hop onto your energy, your auric field, you know what I'm saying? Like a matter of fact, that's why negativity, certain foods and bad habits cause holes in our auric field, and with those holes in our auric field, certain energies are able to come through, unprotected, and that's why it's so important too. Matter of fact, if you feel you talking to somebody negative and you don't want to, because again, it's not about us hiding from people. Sometimes we're gonna come across somebody that's, again, that's part of our, the energy of, quote unquote, being a light worker, but whatever, whatever name you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? But, it's being that beacon of light. But again, it's really like an exorcism when you stand that ground in those moments. Again, somebody like, oh man, I could never start my own business and this and that. You gotta keep the vibration up here, because the moment you go down there with them, you both in quicksand, and that demon has started eating off of you, and now you wondering why all of a sudden you going through some negative vibes and not believing in yourself when you was knowing that you're capable of these things the whole time. Because that energy, that parasite done jumped onto your chakra. Is, that's why I shit kind of real in the essence, where it's almost like a zombie movie in some cases. Like where, when your family members, your closest friend, family, whoever get bit by a zombie, like in the movies where some people like the person get bit by a zombie and then they like, oh no, that's my mama. You can't shoot her. That's my mama. Like, bro, that ain't your mama no more. That ain't your cousin no more. That ain't your you know what I'm saying? Like, man, that vessel is occupied by that parasite. It's done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't much left you could do. You gotta just move around or whatever. But like again, in the case of in the zombie movies, it's like, shit, you better put that bullet through their head. No matter of fact, that's also the aspect spoken of in not the Mahabharata, but the Bhagavad Gita. Where is it the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, I think so. Where Krishna talking to Arjuna on the battlefield. Krishna is the actual Christ figure. Again, one of the 16 crucified saviors. With the same exact storyline. Krishna, Christ, also standing for the black dot or the blue one, or the blue one or the black one, but they turn it into blue. But Krishna was telling Arjuna was on the battlefield, and Arjuna saw his family members and other people he knew across the way, and he was like, "Oh no, Krishna, I can't kill him. That's my mom. That's so and so over there." And Krishna was like, "Nah, my brother, that's not your people." You know what I'm saying? They at this point, and it's a personification on multiple levels, but that's one of the aspects. Is like, it's an energetic thing, you know. And some people get brought down by these parasitic energies, and the more and more that parasite eats at them, the more and more that that their conscious light ceases to exist. Their soul basically gets consumed. Like a horror movie is just like basically a horror movie is like a personification or a vivid picture of how energy moves, but it moves exactly like that in essence, though. I mean, to a certain extent, like you know, like a ghost in essence. And I use that analogy before, like say for instance, with being fearless, being courageous. Like, cause in most horror movies, that courageous. I remember in Insidious, they had like this angel, this light being. I want to say in Insidious 2 or 3, and when she came through, like the ghost just automatically, like he couldn't even stand that light. And plus, again, that's how these entities work too. They try to poke at you. Like, they can't just grab at somebody that's completely walking in light and courageousness. As they gotta kind of do little things to kind of, almost like somebody, like a dog barking at you like close and but he not biting. That's the most they could do. But once that dog see you start to back up a little bit, he like, oh, you kind of fearful. Nah, I can probably take a little bite. You know what I'm saying? But like in so many words, I ain't gonna say it's against the law in the universe. But to a certain extent, they got like rules to this, and where these energies, you kind of gotta open yourself up to these energies willfully. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like them just automatically like taking you over. No, you gotta kind of allow for that to happen. But again, in these movies, the ghost or the demon always depicted at first just trying to scare at that person, and then once they start to scare the person more and more, that person is being ran by that fear of that entity or that energy. I remember one movie where it happened gradually to this girl where at first she started seeing stuff, and the more she got scared, the more that, because what the being was trying to do was trying to influence her again to kill herself. And what I mean by that, like basically at one point, she started becoming so, like having a vision so abruptly and getting so scared. One time she had a vision, and she, without knowing, she walked into ran into the street, and the bus almost hit her, basically allowing for that, that energy to take her out, in essence. It almost did, but again, that's how, these energies move. So whenever you dealing with somebody, always stand your ground, like, well, hey, and then know how to articulate your words. Like, you can't force nobody to see it like you see it, but you could be like, well, I understand your point of view, but from my studies and what I I don't really perceive things in that manner, or that don't exist in my universe. Again, you know what I'm saying? When people go to talking about police too much and all the police do that, I'm like, that don't even, my universe don't even have that in it. Keep that parasite to yourself. you know and it's really that real, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I could speak on it because I allowed for myself to see if it was really that real. Well, I allowed for myself to be around certain people, a little bit too much, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, I'm being depressed, and my energy, I'm feeling a little fearful towards certain things and all this because I done, allow for those parasites to jump ship on me, you know. Not to a certain extent, again, it's almost like doing the work because, it's like I transmute those energies, so basically to where they don't, basically don't have that much strength within that person, but it's not about us like being no little demon bucket for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not about that. So just being aware of that whole vibe. Addressing, and again, not looking. Another thing too, looking at that person in light. Even if they, feeling negative, being negative, all that. We go through things. You know what I'm saying? I once was depressed at one time. I once was letting alcohol and pills and all these type of things bring me down. You know what I'm saying? So it would be kind of hypocritical, and kind of lacking that Christ consciousness to just completely turn my back on people who in essence need that help. But at the same time, we're not playing doctor out here either. You know what I'm saying? It's being the change you want to see, being your greatest version. In order to pour somebody else's cup, pour some water, some Kool-Aid, or some alkaline, or in order to pour some alkaline water in somebody else's cup, your cup gotta, like I said, run it over. It gotta run it over. So you can't be, because how could you share, whenever you out of drink, you ain't got nothing, you ain't got no more in your cup. So how you gonna share? What you got to share? Unless you make sure that again, setting healthy boundaries. Again, speaking up in those situations. Again, even as, because what else was this area may be difficult for quote unquote empaths, because we're so sensitive to energy. We when we check these certain negativities, or put it like this, we don't be feeling like doing it because we feel like whenever we in which this is a good punch to somebody's ego and lower vibrations, but we could still feel like that little sadness, or that little, that energy of a person like really having to swallow that pill, like, yeah, damn, this shit really is true, and we feel it just as much as them, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's either set healthy boundaries or get eaten alive, I'd rather not get eaten alive, so I work it how I work it. But definitely wanted to share that right quick because it was fresh on my mind. Matter of fact, because I've been posting this thing about Doctor Strange on Instagram, and like it was showing like how he was walking through the street and he saw this big parasite on the dude. He's seeing it with his third eye. Everybody, again, like in this world, like everybody just work, transit, day to day, not seeing all, like, we're never alone, ever. We're never, ever, ever alone. There's always energies floating around, you know what I'm saying? And it was just showing that aspect, how somebody who, somebody may considered a magician or more so like a shaman or a healer on that level, that's dealing with these different dimensions, how, those people could see these energies, and combating them every day, but where people don't even know. Matter of fact, and he had a fire. I think I put it. I think I got it in my IGTV video, but where he spoke on. It's gonna come to me. I just right there at the tip of my tongue. Dang. There's a certain aspect of. Oh man, I can't believe it's trying to run away from me right now. Yeah. It was it's talking about the energy hopping from person to person. Oh, he was talking about crazy people. He was like, so next time, because basically when he was taking that worm off of that person, he basically, sometimes he'll be still, like, so say for instance, body be still, but he in the astral planes fighting it, you know what I'm saying? And people looking at him, like as if he crazy, like what's up with this fool sitting there just, with his eyes closed or whatever. And that's what he says, like, next time you see a crazy person or somebody you think is crazy mumbling to themselves or doing something crazy or strange, all pun intended. But if you see this, he was like, you might want to thank that person because you never know if that person is like a sorcerer or, you know, some magician in essence, or a shaman that's helping you. You know what I'm saying? And I did videos and I speak on that a lot. Like, crazy people really not crazy as much as you think. They just, again, just not dealing with the social, you know, not dealing with the not trying to fit in socially. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, it is what it is. It's the work I do. I don't care if I stand out to you when I stop and I. But sometimes I had my moments like where I stop and I do my pranic breathing and I put my eyes back, you know, have my eyes looking up into my, you know, almost like looking up into my skull and taking my breath sometimes in public. You know, it's like, hey, it don't matter if you don't know what I'm doing. Look, I'm saving myself and you. You welcome. But that's basically it, y'all. Just had to share that aspect. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Peace.